The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day after the market close. Tom takes your phone calls from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time using the data available at that time.
Let's go to Fred in Denver. Hey, Fred, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, listen, it's an honor to speak to you. I wanted to tell you, I'm one of your successful tigers, and the reason that I'm successful, I probably read a couple hundred books on technical analysis over the last 10 or 15 years. I'm a retired public school teacher, and I heard you talking today on your earlier show that if you really knew what you were doing in this business, you probably wouldn't have to work again. And I wake up every morning, I look at your book, I can tell you, every other author is just paled in comparison to your clarity. I just wanted to thank you.
Oh, I really appreciate it.
And now, here's Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 2 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great day, safe day. Let's make it a great night, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Communicate with clarity. Communicate with others as clearly as you can be to avoid misunderstanding, sadness, and drama. If all humans would communicate with impeccability of the word, all the relationships would change. There'd be no wars, no violence, and no misunderstandings. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow down 53, NASDAQ was off 1, S&P's off 4, gold contract up $20, trading at a price point of $16.99. Silver up $1.50 at $32.70. Platinum up $20 at $1,569 an ounce. Copper up a penny at $3.31 a pound. Light sweet crude up $1.05, trading out at $97.97. We had bonds up 24 ticks. King dollar, she's down 33 ticks, trading out at 78.43. Euro is at 135.07. And the yen is out there at 76.98. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world. In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at these babies. This is what you have. Cash S&P, where we stand right now, folks, is that you are at 1188.04. Now, you're in the bottom of the range. The bottom of the range being anywhere under the 1230 mark, is saying you want to run to the 1125 down to the 1074 mark. What we have done is this. Yesterday, as well as today, you're coming back with lighter volume. We did 878 million today, did 932 million yesterday. What you have here set up is that, number one, 1125 is game. The 1125 number, I suspect, is going to get challenged. And the reason I'm saying that is this. What you're going to see is you're going to see, as we're coming down into these lower price points, I suspect the volume is going to come out of the market. The reason I'm saying that, folks, is that the volume is coming out of the market in Europe right now. If you go, well, here, we'll go through our own markets first, then we're going to run over to Europe. We're going to take a look at the Dow Industrials. What you have inside the Dow is this. Now, the Dow got back inside the lower range. The Dow was the only one that wasn't inside the lower range. That little baby came back inside there yesterday. That lower range being 11,716. Right now, you're 11,493. What that sets up is that sets up a mark out there of 10,825. The NASDAQ. The NASDAQ, folks, bottom line is not only inside it, the NASDAQ is deep inside it. The NASDAQ is only couple of $1.20 away from the highs of the low of October 4th. That number there is something to watch. The reason being is that I suspected we were going to the highs of the low. And the reason I was looking for the 1125, even from the top, folks, was this, is that both times that we came down, in August as well as October 4th, we came down with heavy volume, but the October 4th level was dramatically lighter than the August level, and that's why it bounced, and it bounced in a big way. Now, what has happened in Europe, okay, is basically dictating that we're going to go lower. And this is why. If we go over to King Dollar, folks, they're trying to hammer each and every way downtown. They can't get it downtown. It does not want to go downtown. You're at 78.41. This little baby is building some huge cars to get to 80.43. I expect what you're probably going to get there is that this baby probably wants to go to 89. That's the way that this is setting up at this particular point. Now, what you do have, that's the technical setup. The fundamental setup is amazing. You know, I mentioned on, let's see, Friday, we were talking about the amount of, actually, no, I didn't mention Friday because I didn't do the show yesterday. This just came out Sunday night. This was in both of my newsletters, actually. So the Fed released on Sunday night, folks, the amount of non-U.S. bank dollar deposits at the Federal Reserve. Bottom line is that in the last 10 months, we went from 22 non-foreign banks having $315 billion at the Fed to 47 banks, non-foreign banks, non-U.S. banks, having $735 billion. Now, the $735 billion is not a huge amount. What you can see, though, is that you can see it's 100% of what was there, more than 100%. What you can also see is that European banks in general, Asian banks in general, are saying, I got to get money into U.S. dollars. That's a huge deal. The next deal, which we have been talking about, is the amount of dollar bonds that have been issued across the world. Now, it's been the biggest acceleration, folks, of dollar bonds this past year than the last 30 years. What a dollar bond is this. You have a country, you have corporations issuing dollar bonds. Bottom line, what do they need? They need dollars to issue the bond, number one. They need dollars to pay the interest, number two, and then they're going to need dollars to pay the principal. The folks that are issuing dollar bonds are absolutely going to get killed. The amazing part is that I've seen this a couple times in the last 30 years, and it just blows my mind that they do it again. You know, I don't know where these business schools go, but let me tell you something. Some of these cases that they study, they should study implosions inside debt markets, implosions inside currency moves. I remember the first time that Procter & Gamble got burned. You know, they got burned, this was about 1983. They got burned for billions and billions of dollars. And they had some banker basically talked them into a, you know, it was a dollar bond, but the difference was that it was in a different currency. It wasn't a dollar bond, it was a different currency bond, but they got killed. Bottom line is that you have that happening. Now, what comes out today, so check this out. So there's a lot of different things that are happening that people want to be into the dollar. Now, check this one out. This comes out of nowhere. In Argentina right now, what's happening is this. So picture, in Argentina, folks, what's going on is that you have 25% inflation. Now, you would think at 25% inflation that what would you end up doing? You know, you'd go in the gold market, silver market, right? No. They're going into dollars. Now, watch how they're doing it. When you have currency controls in place, they're not allowing, number one, their citizens to go into dollars. And you've got to remember that Argentina, folks, had already gone through hyperinflation beyond belief. Blew up. They only blew up, what, 13 years ago. Came all the way back again, right? Well, bottom line, this is the way that smart money is getting into dollars so they can put it under their mattress. What they're doing is that they're buying dollar bonds and selling dollar bonds. It's one of the fastest ways that you can get U.S. currency, get hold of U.S. currency, and then stash the currency. Because their peso is absolutely blowing up. It's blowing up in a huge way. Bottom line, what does that do? That puts more demand into the U.S. dollar. Dollar wants to go higher. And what you have, folks, is that the dollar going higher keeps pressure on all the markets straight across the world. We go over to the UK. The UK, you know, bottom line, right now you're at 52.06. That 52.06 level is not only in the lower range, the high of the October 4th level is 5075. We're making our way into that ASAP. If we go to the DAX, we take a look at the DAX, folks, what you have inside the DAX. The DAX right now is at 5537. DAX is making its way down to this 5222 area. You know, bottom line, politicians over there basically are refusing to budge on the debt issue. The market, folks, is dictating, and the market is dictating over there, and it's going to be a wild one. Let me tell you. The Italy today, 17 ticks on the Italian 10-year bond. That's trading out at 6.79. And France is going to be the kicker, folks. Comment allez-vous? Oh, très bien, merci et vous. France up 6 points today, 6 ticks at 35.11. Bottom line, France, going to be big problems. And this is going to come out of nowhere in France. It's not coming out of nowhere. It's basically hitting it right now. But you're going to see it hit it, and you're going to see it hit it in a huge way. Euro, folks, what you want to see, well, I tell you, you know, bottom line, the euro looks to me like, whether it's a year and a half, we're probably going to par, probably lighter than par. What you don't want to see is just go overnight. Is it possible that the euro looks to me is in just a monster ABC structure on the way down, and I mean a monster, folks. You know, this thing wants to basically rip apart 131. If we take a look at this, you know, the setup is 129 in a heartbeat, 126 in a heartbeat. We come down there fast, and you're going to see some big, fast destruction in the marketplace. And what it's all about currencies, it's all about debt structures, and these countries can't pay it, and they're just like our own politicians. The bottom line is that they all got their head in the sand, they're doing nothing, and their currencies are going to blow up. That's the bottom line. Now, let's go over to good old Bank of America. BAC, what do you have with BAC? BAC's in big trouble, folks. Bank of America out here today is at 537. The 537 mark, it got into the 532 today. This wants to take out this 513. You take out 513, that's the low in Bank of America, and see it, don't want to be it. The MF Global deal, you know, where else can you get $1.2 billion missing, folks, and no one's basically locked up? Well, go over to MF Global. This gets so bizarre. This is so far over the top, it's unbelievable. So this morning they come out, or last night, and the trustee says, well, you know what? It's not 693 million we can't find now. Now it's 1.2 billion. Okay? So Congress comes out and says, okay, we're going to have a hearing. Well, you know when the hearing is, folks? The hearing is like December 13th. They're going to get Corzine and talk to him on December 13th. Think about this for a second. 1.2 billion. Now I want, no matter what city you're in, I want you to think of yourself or anyone else. If it was $1.2 billion missing, right? Do you think that you're going to wait till December 13th to find out what's going on? So picture, all these people have lost money. The money's stolen, folks. If you take money out of one account and you put it on a bad trade, which they did. In fact, if you read the Journal, the Wall Street Journal, if you read between the lines, they know where the money is. And the banks are going to fight it. The bottom line, it's basically a ripoff. We'll be right back, folks.